Hi everybody, welcome back into the NASCAR Illustrated studio. I'm Stephen Levine, and this is another edition of Gaining Traction, our monthly look at NASCAR's up-and-coming drivers. Pleased to welcome Ryan Gifford into the studio, driver for Rev Racing and member of the Drive for Diversity program. And Ryan, you've been at this for a while, but you knew from an early age that this is what you wanted to do. Tell me about how this all started. Was there a family tradition of racing?
No, actually, my family all kind of drag raced and things like that, so it wasn't really, they weren't really involved in NASCAR. You know, grew up racing go-karts, started there and moved up from there to dirt late models and kind of just raced, and we always took it as a hobby. So just really feel fortunate that I got, asked to move out here and race for a living and having a whole lot of fun.
Now, where did you have to move from?
Moved from Middle Tennessee. Grew up there, small town called Winchester. Lived there pretty much my whole life until I moved over here, and it's a lot different over here. It's a lot of fun, a lot more to do.
Is that the main thing, just more opportunities, or were there sort of culture shock moments for you when you moved out here?
Well, I grew up in a small town, and to move to a bigger town like Winston-Salem was a lot different. There's a lot more racing over here. It's really neat. It's cool to be over here, and I've really enjoyed it so far.
Do you have vivid memories of first getting behind the wheel of a go-kart?
I do. I was 8 years old, and when I first started, they didn't have the kids classes with the restrictor plates and stuff like that. So I actually started out in a pretty fast go-kart, and then about a year into it, they kind of backed us all down and started making us run restrictor plates and stuff like that. So it was a lot different. I remember when I first started, we were really going fast, and it was fun. I had a lot of fun.
It must have given you a little bit of an advantage when they pulled you back, that you were already used to higher speeds.
It was a little bit. It was kind of a struggle then, because then you had to learn how to keep your momentum up, and that's the same thing you learn as you go through all types of racing. You got to be able to keep your momentum up, and then you go to a higher class with more power, and then you got to change your driving style a little bit.
Now, you've been part of the Drive for Diversity program for 4 years now. Probably one of the longer tenured guys in that program. So I know that program is great for giving you exposure and for giving opportunities to people who may not have them otherwise. But looking back on the past 4 years, are there lessons that you've learned or things you've gained from being part of that program that might not have to do with, just the opportunity to drive?
I feel very fortunate to be able to be a part of the program that long. I feel like, those guys obviously see something in me that makes them want to keep me around, and that's really cool. And, I've learned so much over the past 4 years. In the past 2 years especially, I think a lot of it is just me getting older and more mature, and, learning that you don't have to, win the race in the first 10 laps, or, just different lessons like that you learn, and not tearing the car up and being there at the end of the race is huge. I've learned a lot of the lessons the hard way, but I feel fortunate that now if I get the opportunity to move up, I've already been in positions where I've learned a lot of that.
Do you think about that, the fact that you're 23 years old and then there are guys like Chase Elliott and Dylan Kwasniewski and people who are still in their teens moving up? Do you feel that pressure of growing older, or do you just think it'll come when it's right?
I think it'll come when it's right. I know there's a lot of people that watch what I do and keep an eye on what I do, and when they feel like I'm ready, I think I'll get the opportunity. So, I feel fortunate. I got to run a nationwide race this year and ran really good in it. So I kind of proved to myself that I can do it, and just waiting on the next opportunity. You're
driving the K&N East Series, and you were the first African American to win a pole in that series. Is that important to you? Is that something that you feel a certain amount of pride about, the fact that you were the first African American in that series to grab a pole?
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's a cool accomplishment. Anytime you can be the first to do anything is always big. I want to keep going and move on and win truck races and hopefully nationwide races and win championships. So that's my goal, and if I'm the first one to do it, then that's awesome. That's a plus. But I want to be able to say that I did it and say that I'm capable of accomplishing those things. So we'll hope it goes right.